Long Island Backstory.
Hi, I'm Gary Jacobs, and welcome to another edition of Long Island Backstory. Today is October 21st, 2021, and we're here at the Suffolk County Legislator Building in Hauppauge, New York, where County Legislator Rob Trotta is about to hold a press conference.
All right, thanks for coming today. I appreciate it. I'm going to step out front here a minute. When this happened, no one thought that the corruption in Suffolk County was this big. But guess what? This is what happened. What I'm about to show you makes this pale. Looks like a kindergarten class compared to the corruption that's been going on. What we have here is New York State election law that's being violated over and over again every single day, and is costing the taxpayers of this county millions of dollars, and the hardworking members of the Suffolk County government millions of dollars. This is what's going on. New York State election law is very clear. All campaign contributions must be voluntary. You cannot force an employee to give you money. But that's exactly what's happening here in Suffolk County. Every single county union employee is being forced to give money. They can't get out of it. They try to get out of it. They write letters. They write letters to the district attorney, write letters to the county executive, the county controller, and they don't stop it. It just keeps coming to the tune of over $1 million a year, way over $1 million a year. And that's wrong. It corrupts county government. Now, why does it corrupt county government? Because the unions gain so much power by giving money to certain politicians, they can never be beaten. The current district attorney has received this involuntarily taken money to the tune of almost $500,000. $500,000. Newsday reported that when Steve Bellone ran for election, he received approximately $830,000 in money that was taken from the employees of this county without their permission. Now, I've reported this to the district attorney. I've reported this to the U.S. attorney. I've reported it to the police commissioner, 2 separate police commissioners. When I sat down with the police commissioner, I went over these laws and I showed them to her. And you know what she said to me? She said, "Are you recording me?" Because I was showing her a variety of different laws that they're breaking. Now, here's another one. In your packets, you will see this law, New York State election law. A corporation cannot exceed $5,000. Okay, they cannot donate more than $5,000. Not $5,000 to me, $5,000 to someone else. $5,000 total a year. And I will show you in your packets where the unions are taking money out of their corporation, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, and moving it into the PAC. That's against the law. But who benefits from that move? The district attorney and the county executive, to the tunes of millions of dollars. Now, how is that fair to any other person running for office when he has a private slush fund? I was in the FBI for 10 years. I did major money laundering cases. Rest assured, this is laundering money. They're giving out contracts. They're taking money from the employees involuntary. I can't tell you, and you will have someone up here later who will say that I was a victim of this, that they took money from them and used it on candidates that they didn't want to support. And there's no mechanism for them to get out of it. Period. Here's another one. This couldn't be more. Misdemeanors concerning police commissioners and officers of members of any force. Here's the key words here. If you attempt to use a threat to your political authority directly or indirectly, So when I brought the police commissioner in and I told her this was happening and she did nothing, what did she do? She indirectly benefited these candidates. When I told the current acting police commissioner, he's indirectly doing nothing during another campaign where the district attorney is receiving tens of thousands of dollars from this money that's being illegally gotten. The bottom one, any police officer solicits, collects, receives any money for any political fund, club, association, society is guilty of a misdemeanor. I'm going to show you in the packet where they're receiving $10,000, $5,000 from construction companies. Who's to say it's not the Lucchese crime family construction company? You have police officers receiving this money, and it's coming from outside businesses, and it's in direct violation of New York State election law. So let's summarize. Where they're taking it not voluntarily, they're moving it in excess of $5,000, and they're taking it from outside businesses. 3 crimes that are committed. Now, are these the crimes of the century? No, they're not. But these are law enforcement officers, and by the way, victims of the AME, the regular 6,000 member unit of this, the union, is taking money from their own members, and you can't stop it. We have a gentleman here, Franco Frandolisi, a recently retired friend of mine, who is a victim of it. He says, I don't want to give money to these politicians. There are certain ones I want to give to and certain ones I don't want to give to. You can't get out of it. I can't tell you how many police officers have called me up and apologized to me. Look, money I donated is being used against you. I can't get out of it. They're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars belittling people, me one of them, and it's illegal. So how can this go on when the district attorney's office over there is quoted in Newsday saying, I don't have jurisdiction? How can you not have jurisdiction? When you raised your hand as a district attorney, you swore to uphold all the laws of the state of New York. All of them. Not just some of them. This is no different than me going to rob a bank, running over to the district attorney's office, giving him half the money, and then walking out of there. Nothing's going to happen to me. These people are complaining, and by the way, they're complaining quietly because they are afraid of retribution. They are afraid their careers will be ruined, things will happen to them, they won't get promotions, they won't get transferred to units that they would want to go to. But guess what? It's like blackmail. This is literally like a racketeering enterprise that I used to do when I was in the FBI. It's a racketeering. It's laundering money back into the same politicians. And look, I'm not saying the Republicans or the Democrats. It just so happens there's a Republican district attorney, a Democratic district attorney, a Democratic county executive, and the union members who are all in bed together. They're all in bed laundering money to make sure that they stay in power and they get these contracts that a lot of times the county can't afford to do. So if you have any questions, it's pretty simple. They're taking money, not voluntary. They're moving money. Let me explain the ramifications of this. They collect $53,000 a year for their PAC. They're moving $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 in at a clip. When a police officer writes off on his taxes, he doesn't write off the political donations. They are now allowing these police officers to unknowingly falsify their tax returns, because what are they doing? They're writing off the union dues when meanwhile there's much more of his money that's going for political campaigns. So they're inadvertently causing police officers to file false tax returns. Not on their own. It's not their fault, obviously, because they don't even know what's going on. By the way, a lot of the police officers don't even know where this money is going. They're mortified to find out, because police officers are generally conservative Republicans, right? They're mortified to find out that about 90% of their money is going to Democratic candidates, period. And the money's taken from them. They can't say no. This has been well documented for a couple of years. I'm writing a letter to the new U.S. attorney advising him that this is also a theft from the corporation. The PBA is a corporation, and they're taking tens of thousands of dollars and moving it into the PAC. That's a wire fraud, a mail fraud. This can't go on. It's corrupting county government. And it's not just the police unions, it's the AME also. They're moving lots of money doing this.
Legislator, so I'm clear. So if I'm a PBA member or an AME member, I pay weekly or bi-weekly dues.
Mm-hmm.
Dues come out of my paycheck. They go to the union. The union would then put the money in more of a general fund, right? And then that general fund would move a portion of that money to a political action committee?
There's two things. There's the regular PAC, which each officer can get out of. That they can get out of. It's $1 a pay period. It's $53,000 a year. The super PAC is the involuntary. What happened was they just raised everyone's dues $365, right? And they took that money and they move it from their corporation into the PAC. They can't get out of that. They can't.
Is it stipulated in their paycheck about what the money is for?
For the PAC, it's stipulated. It says Suffolk County PAC. It's just regular dues taken out. You cannot move money out of the dues. You cannot take campaign contributions involuntary. They have to be voluntary. It's not only New York State election law, it's also New York State civil service law, which I will provide everyone with. Look, what I have for you is the crime, the evidence, and the law. So it's going to be like a prosecution worksheet. You will see everything. How is it that a police officer or a union can receive money from a corporation in the tune of $10,000? How do they know that that's not the Gambino crime family they're taking money from? Election law is clear. I think the rules and procedures say you cannot solicit money from outside agencies, from a corporation or for restaurants. I see it. I'm going to provide you with the information. I mean, you have to think about this. These are union officials who are abusing the law, and it's allowed to be done by the district attorney, and he's benefiting to the tune of $500,000. I mean, this is the public should be outraged what's going on. Outraged that this is happening in this day and age. This is sort of like Oyster Bay 20 years ago when they were putting a dollar vig on every Republican had to give to the party. This is no different. There are laws. This country, this state, this county is run by a series of laws, and we should not let our police officers break them. Now, I'm not talking about the rank and file police officers on the street. I'm talking about the top tier of the union and the politicians. Those are the ones committing the crimes. Those are the ones allowing the crimes to happen, and they're benefiting from them. How can you allow people to benefit from crimes and looking the other way when you swore to the Constitution and the laws of the state of New York that you were going to uphold those laws, and then you don't?
Legislator, not to be politically cynical, but obviously we're a week and a half out from the district attorney's re-election. Why now? Why hold the press conference now? Did something happen recently, specifically about this?
Yeah, well, I've had a press conference over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, on this exact same topic, and it continued. The New York Times did a story on it that this is going on. The town, Susan, the county where the cops call the shots. Now, how embarrassing is it that the New York Times does a front cover story, the county where the cops call the shots, and it breaks down all the crimes I've been talking about, and nothing happens? How does the district attorney get away with saying, I don't have jurisdiction? How does the district attorney get away with saying, oh, we looked at that and there's nothing there? Well, explain to us legally why there's nothing there. Explain to us why you're allowed to move more than $5,000 into your PAC. That's against the law. You can't do it. But why are they allowing to do it? The reason they're allowing them to do it is because they're benefiting from it. They are benefiting from crimes. I'm saying it here now. The district attorney is benefiting financially from crimes that are being committed under his watch. So is the county executive, and unfortunately, so are a lot of the legislators. Over 2 years ago, I sent an email to all elected officials who took the money saying, this is illegal. You can't do this. You should give the money back. And I showed them why it was illegal. Do you know what happened? Nothing. No one responded. Zero. I made a complaint with 2 police commissioners. What did I hear? Nothing. Zero. I made a complaint with the New York State Attorney General. What did they do? Nothing. What's the common thread? Hundreds of thousands of dollars going to the Democratic Party. Now, I'm not saying it would be different if it was the Republican Party, but that's the fact. The fact is you see hundreds of thousands of dollars being moved into the Democratic Party and nothing being done. The police commissioner's job is based upon the county executive. So when I go to him and I say, Commissioner, your guys are taking money, they're moving money, they're doing all this illegal stuff, guess what? His job depends upon that not going anywhere. And that's wrong. And this is no reflection on the hardworking men and women of the Suffolk County Police Department, most of which have no idea what's going on here.
Are you calling on the district attorney to give back the money?
I'm calling on every politician who received this money to give it back. That's what I'm calling on. Because guess what? It's against the law. It was laundered out of a treasury fund, the PBA as a corporation or the AME as a corporation, either one, and sent over to a PAC illegally. It was collected without the permission of each of the members. I put a bill in just recently. It just mimics state law. You have to be able to sign a thing saying, I'm going to give my $1 a day. I'm willing to do that. And if that happens, I have no problem with it. If it's done legally and each officer or each cop or each employee of this county agrees to give the money, that's fine. No problem with it at all. but you also can't be moving money out of the corporation. That's a theft. When you take $10,000, $50,000 out of a corporation and move it into a PAC, that is a theft from the corporation. And it's also a wire fraud. So that's why I wrote a letter to the new United States Attorney. Yeah. Franco? Just talk about your instance of not being able to take the money out. Come here.
Name is Franco Frantellizzi, Frantellizzi. I was a Suffolk police officer and detective for 32 years. I am recently retired. If I was still a police officer or a detective, I would not be here right now speaking on this PAC committee or whatever its incentive is. Let me just say this. I was always against this PAC money when it first showed up, when it first started taking it out of our paycheck. Police officers are supposed to be about cops and robbers, not cops and politicians. And that's what I found most offensive about it. Who I vote for is my business. Who I lean toward, who I respect is my business. I don't like being told by my unions who to do, who to vote for, who to run for, who to help. I do know Legislator Robert Trotta. I know him to be a decent person, and I know my union is asking me not to vote for him. I don't live in his district, so I won't vote for him, but I do support what he's saying here right now, because I've always found it to be true.
Thank you, Franco. Look, unfortunately, no officer is going to show up here. No union official from the AME, no worker is going to show up here, because guess what? They'll be blackballed. They'll be told, well, it's almost unwritten, unsaid. You just won't get a promotion. You just won't get the job you want. They'll just blackball you. And I can't tell you how many people, have pushed me to do this again and again and again, because, I'm the voice for the people who don't want to do it. They don't, you would think I'd be surrounded by other legislators here. I didn't ask anybody to come with me today. I wanted to do this myself because I'm one of two legislators who doesn't take any money and refuses to take any money, because I think it's unethical to vote on someone's contract when you've taken $10, $20, $30, $50, or $100,000, and in the case of the county executive or the district attorney, hundreds of thousands of dollars of this money that was used to get them in office. And what do they get in return? Contracts. And more importantly, the union bosses get hundreds of thousands of dollars of perks every year. So how is it they're negotiating contracts and they're getting $14,000 canine pay? They don't have a dog. $20,000 to work nights. They don't work nights. $15,000 or $30,000 in built-in overtime. They don't work overtime. It's hazardous duty pay. There's no hazardous duty pay. It's bankrupting the county. I don't begrudge anybody a cost of living, but I do begrudge, and I have a big problem with the district attorney and the county executive allowing people's money to be taken from them without their permission. I'm going to say that again. I have a problem with the district attorney, the county executive, taking employees' money without their permission, because that's exactly what's happening here. They are forcing people to donate, and that's wrong. Any other questions? Look, I've talked to the State Board of Elections. I've talked to the New York State Attorney General. I bypassed the district attorney's office because he received over $500,000. And basically I've heard crickets. The interesting thing is, no one said I was wrong. Not one single person said, no, you're wrong and here's why. The district attorney didn't say I was wrong. He just said, I don't have jurisdiction. How does the district attorney not have jurisdiction over New York State law? The ironic thing is the New York State Attorney General said, maybe you should go to the district attorney's office. You want me to go to the district attorney's office when he took $500,000? Really? It's crazy. This is why our taxes are so high in this county. This is why we had that corruption board I had up before. Because I'm standing up and trying to do what's the right thing is. And sometimes I stand here alone, and that's okay.
Do you have a feeling as to why you
I didn't ask my fellow Republicans to come. No, one of them did. You know, the other gentleman who doesn't take money from the police union. I didn't want him to come though, because I don't want him. I'm a target. I mean, they're going to spend $1 million of that money against me. That's why I've had my friends who are cops call me up and tell me, "Look, I apologize that my money's being spent against you." You know, and it's crazy. They're calling me a socialist, a defund the policer. You know, I voted for every single thing the police needed to do their job, every single thing. And it's disgusting to me that the police commissioner allows this to happen. His officers are doing this in front of him and doing nothing about it. Nothing. Internal Affairs, nothing. They're taking money from restaurants, from businesses. What is Internal Affairs doing? Nothing. And it's like, look, I didn't write the law. The laws speak for themselves. If they come to me and say, look, it's really not it's not breaking the law, and here's why, I'm willing to see it. I'll go home and have lunch right now. If you come to me and say, look, this is legal and here's why, I'll leave. But guess what? No one's telling me that. No one's telling me that. They're saying nothing. That's what they do in politics. When you get them, what do? Don't say a word. Don't say anything. All right, I thank you so much. Look, my only hope, quite honestly, is the media, because it's got to put a fire under somebody.
Thank you for watching Long Island Backstory. If you like what you see, please share it. Please like our page on YouTube.
Long Island Backstory is made possible in part by Americans for Legal Reform, the oldest, most successful legal group in the world. P.O. Box 2679, Huntington Station, New York 11746. Telephone 631-421-6390. Website Americans4legalreform.com.